Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome back to another episode of FarmTown here in City Skylines 2, where we're now flying over our brand new town that we built in the last episode, our brand new town of Cattlemore. Now, we actually got quite a lot done last episode, which I was really impressed. I mean, considering that we already had the infrastructure already in place, there wasn't really much to do apart from actually populating the town, and it went that well. We actually have a cemetery. We have a little sports field, little parks, a school. We have our very own within this area right now, medical facility, police, fire. We have a train station coming in as well. We got a bus station, and we got a couple of train lines leading in, and we've got a couple of bus routes also leading in and out as well. Now, I'm actually surprised of how much we got done, but in doing so means it did increase our population ever so slightly, and you could argue, well, it hasn't really increased our unemployment by much, but when you check out the jobs, the job market for the lower educations is reaching full capacity, boys. So we need to kind of expand the farming industry, but we also now need to start kind of solving some of the issues that we have now actually created. Now, by building this town, by building a new stretch of highway, gives traffic and pedestrians and people and citizens, whatever you want to call them, new routes in which they can travel. Some are now coming for the area for the first time ever. Some are now taking new alternative routes because they seem to be quicker than what was originally there, which is now creating a little bit of stress on some of the junctions that once never really had any traffic because no one really used them, but now they do. So we got to go around and also fix some of the issues, try and improve the traffic flow here, there, and everywhere. Look at this right now. You ever notice have any traffic issues over here in Tri-Delta? No, boys. No. Now, while we are still waiting for people to officially move in to the town, there's still kind of people still making their way over here. You kind of have to wait for it to settle down and then see where the issue is going to come from. But most of the time, you can kind of tell where the issues are going to kind of stay. So this should be pretty interesting. Now, if you are enjoying the series, please make sure you smash that like button down below. Subscribe if you are new around here so you get notified when more episodes do come out. But we need to build more farms. We've got all this area to utilize. And what I think I might do is turn this into a crossroad, bring this road down, which eventually connect up to this, which would be another shortcut route into FarmTown. Oh, this is exciting. It's very exciting. So, where do we need to start? Well, I'm going to actually start by placing down a couple of farms around this area to kind of figure out our kind of system, our gridded kind of system in many ways, to which we're going to utilize to kind of start placing them all down, which by doing that should give some of our junctions a little bit of time to slightly clear. Once they're kind of cleared, we'll wait for the next rush hour and then solely judge where the issues are going to be. So let's start here. This will be a good little starting point. And what I want to utilize is the gravel roads. These are what we're going to use to kind of build up the farms in around the areas. Actually, before I do, I've always got to check what the radius is of a farm. Right. Okay, I got it. Because sometimes I can either build too small or sometimes I build way too big. It's either or. Okay, it's either or. It's never anything else, and I kind of find it hilarious. So I'll create a connection there. And what I want to do is I want to do these little staggered sections. These little staggers really help us in terms of kind of not having too much of an ordinary kind of farming gridded format, if that makes any sense. It really does help us out. Now, I'm going to kind of pull away slightly from the ordinary on this little section, because although we're trying to stagger the north and south, the east and west also need to be staggered as well. So we're going to try and do our best there. And some farms are going to be smaller than others. They are going to, some of them, not really make much sense. They're going to look a little bit funky, but that's all part of the fun, boys. That is all part of the fun, and it's how we get our kind of gridded fashions on the go. So I'm actually going to pull up from about there to bring that down and in to cut you up. And now you can see how we're getting these little kind of formats right now where we're going to fill with farming land. And not, well, every so often you do want to connect it to the highway road. And we will try and connect it in many ways, but I'm doing this grid based off this road here and this one. So as you get to this, it's going to start to become a little bit skew-if. You've got to then try and kind of navigate up and around it. I reckon I'll use this road as being the connection down here. So the roads that do connect, we'll push them directly through. So we can see it a little bit easier about where we're running stuff. When it comes to this, I'm actually just going to run straight across. And I think I'll do the same here. It's quite a long way to run with it, but it will work out. It will work out. So now it's got to fill all these little nooks and crannies here to our best of our abilities. And just pray that we've got the spacing all right as well, because otherwise the farm's going to look a little bit funky. They are going to look a little bit funky, but we can do all kinds of stuff to make them fit, so there's no stress about that. Now, by doing this as well, it does create alternative routes. Now, all of a sudden, we have the ability for them to go here, go this way, come down, and go that way. Now, they'll only do that if there is traffic around here. That, you know, it becomes a shortcut option. So, you're kind of opening up the roads to go in many different ways. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's not so good. It just depends on what they're trying to utilize it for. Right, we'll kind of now go up to this little corner here, and I think we'll kind of then finalize that as being all the road layout network I kind of then want. So we'll kind of now continue up to there. We'll bring this out to there. Oh, hello, hello. I'll bring this up also to end there. And then we'll kind of go by 2 up. It all depends on how much I can kind of squeeze within that vicinity. Now, I'm trying very hard right now not to make it connect to anything, but I feel like we should. I don't know if I want a connection on this road. That's the other side of it. I don't know if I do or not. Now, if I go to about here and bring this up. So if I go here and just bring it to there, we're going to have to create some connections sticking out with some farms, but we're almost there. We are almost there right now for completing what we want to do. So if I go to about there and then cut this across, I'll go to about here. So I'm looking for the snap. It could actually, like, you know, bend into that, but I don't feel like I want to do that. You know what I mean? That works. That does work, but we do have minimal connections. And none of them really lead to the town, which is kind of what they almost need to do. So, I don't know how this is going to work out. But if I was to create this road as a solid connection here, I don't know how that's going to play with my traffic. But if I then come off this with a glorious bend, so if I pick there, the bend's not really that great, but it kind of snaps in. And now all of a sudden gives us an alternative option to enter the city, which they probably are going to choose this one now over this one, because that's treated as a highway road all the way down to here. So they can kind of make some ground up because of the speed limit before they go this way. We'll have to keep an eye on that, because if that becomes or looks a little bit funky, I might have to slightly delete that. I might have to. Right, that is a glorious pattern right now for a bunch of farming. That is absolutely glorious. I'm actually going to kind of go across here real quick, just to give us an alternative connection on that road. We seem to have 2, 3 on that. Well, you can argue 2 there. 1, 2, 3 here, 2 here, and then 1 on this strip of road if you want to kind of make that separate to this road. That's kind of how it's going to work. It's a bit bendy-wendy, but, you know, it should still work none the least. Right, that's huge. That is absolutely huge right now, the amount of farming area we can now pretty much work with. Now, before we do start placing down some farms, we kind of need to check our production and see what our deficit is. Now, our deficit still relies within the grain. It's crazy how much grain we actually need, so this might predominantly be a grain industry. Now, we'll see what we can get done first. I'm not going to build too many, but we'll try and build a fair few right now. We'll try and build a fair few. And I'm going to avoid building... Right, hold on. I'm going to avoid building close to some of the junctions, like down here, because we're going to have to revamp them anyway. So I'm just going to kind of squeeze a few of the larger areas in. And let's get these all set up. Now, looking at it, I could have made some of these farms a lot bigger, but I like the idea of having smaller ones, large ones, awkwardly shaped ones, because it adds a little bit of detail to the region. A little bit of difference is always good. It's always good and always welcomed. Right, let's go for some bigger ones right now. So let's go for this one here. Oh, no, they had to, didn't they? They had to break at the last minute. Oh, the pain in my heart. Right, let's quickly squeeze all this in. And then, could I squeeze a large one there? Yes, providing the game doesn't delete the farm. The developer should update it where, you know when that bug happens where it deletes the whole building because you kind of awkwardly placed it? They shouldn't allow you to place in general anyway, if that happens. Rather than place it and the building doesn't spawn in. Kind of is annoying. Kind of is annoying, but hey-ho. It's one of the funs of playing City Skylines. Right. All the way down. All the way up. Bam. Wa-bam. Wa-bam. Bam. So we'll do one more. We'll do one more. Let's kind of pick... Let's pick... Oh, I'm going to stay away from that because I can see it being a little bit of a pain for us. Okay, we'll go this area here. That covers that area quite nice. Should work out pretty well. Right, okay then. So, that is a nice little selection there of just solely grain farms. We'll come back and do some more. But let's go around and start fixing some of the traffic then. So, before we do, let's actually check the production. Oh, wrong button. Nope, that's the wrong button, Seniac. What are you doing? It was 50 tons deficit. Obviously, as time goes on and more people get the jobs and start working there, that should hopefully increase the surplus or the amount that we produce, fingers crossed. If not, that's completely fine because we're not far off breaking the deficit anyway with literally that small amount that we've now just done. So let's take a look then. Are we still seeing issues over here? We are seeing issues still over here. So first thing we're going to do is just kill off this farm to that junction. Now, issue is, right, there's too many vehicles going in too many directions and they all can't jump across it at the same time. So the most logical thing to do would be to implement a roundabout, but I'm not just going to implement a roundabout. If I go for a medium size, that will give everybody the option and the ability to kind of go around. Some parts of the roundabout have 2 lanes. This part has, you know, 1 turning off lane. It all depends on how it all kind of connects and how it works, but that will kind of give us a continual flow, but it won't be the be-all, end-all, you know, perfect solution to fixing it all. What I think we should also implement is a couple of little slingshot roads as well. I think that would be a great way to get a couple of vehicles further back to kind of bunny hop or, you know, overpass the people who want to go straight on or to the left. That's kind of what might be a good idea as well. Now, without building any additional lanes, or should we build additional lanes? Let me just quickly upgrade. So if I was to upgrade this road here to a 4-lane, it kind of already is a 4-lane, but it kind of then merges. Oh, I actually don't like that. Right, put it back as it is. Right, I kind of forgot it's been merged. Right, we'll do it the full length there because it kind of splits just here. This road, we could also make it split as well. We could actually make all this splits, kind of because it's coming close to it, but only because I'm going to do some slingshots now, okay? I will reduce them back down once I've got the slingshot in. Now, could this area utilize it too? I think they all could utilize it. So I reckon we should kind of... Oh no, I've got this issue now, haven't I, boys? Wait, it's all... Where the 2 farms are now connected by 1. Oh no. There we go. Bit annoying. We got there in the end. So we'll upgrade this road into matching where it slips in. Now this road doesn't do it, but I will upgrade it a little bit bulkier and... Oh, I don't want to go all the way to the train tracks. Now, the train tracks do play a little bit of a role in causing us issues. But if I just go to here first with this, because I'm going to delete these anyway in just a minute. We will delete them. We're just adding a little bit more capacity, which in reality, just doing this is enough when you kind of think of it, because I can press play right now. And obviously, I've caught, they're all now in the wrong lanes. Okay, they're now all in the wrong lanes. But that will kind of solve a lot of it. But what it does is it makes both lanes, like you can see here, one goes straight on. Well, actually, both of them go straight on, one to the left, one to the right. So if you wanted to go straight on, they'll use both lanes, which backing up people wanting to go to the left or the right. Now, I can't really solve the left one, but I can solve the right turn one. And this is going to be my little bit of a trick I'm going to implement. So if I put a nice little bend on right now, so if I go back to here and then bend this, so try and get it very similar. So it's a 90 by 90. And then we just kind of go back in with the asymmetrical road, upgrade you, and making sure that this is all correct, upgrade you. So that then becomes a dedicated slingy shot. Now, what I've then done, and what I can... Oh, I don't know if I can actually do this. I don't think it works on roundabouts. But if you tell them you can't do a right turn there, it doesn't actually update it. But I believe this is still a quicker option than going to the roundabout and doing a right anyway. So we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Now, you can apply that to all of the areas around, which really, really does help out. And that should heavily reduce the amount of vehicle traffic that we should see. And because then it merges into 2 lanes and then into the one, the traffic should flow by. Now that kind of works, doesn't it? It does kind of work. Now I'm going to apply that to all of it. And it becomes a little bit of a helping hand. So, right, back to this one then. Back to the bends. So now we're going this way. And I'm going to try and match it on the 90 by 90, which can be quite difficult to get it perfect. So that is a 99. Okay, it's not what I want. 91 by 89. You know what? I'll take that. I'll take that. Right, we'll come back in just a minute. Now, this might be an issue because of the train track. So that's an 80. So I might need to delete the train track just to get this to work. Yeah, which is a bit of a pain. It's only because of the bridge. So don't worry, Mr. Train. I will get you back in. That's 102. That's a 90. That couldn't be any more perfect if I tried. Right. 85, 92. Okay, we'll go with the 92. Again, it ain't the end of the world. It ain't the end of the world. And then we'll do it here as well. So this is just one of many areas I've got to kind of update and work with. So let's get the train tracks back in. All the way across. Like nothing ever happened, boys. Like nothing ever happened. And we're just going to upgrade or kind of degrade it, if that's what you're going to class it as. All of this. But now you add the additional one in. It completely changed it. So now you can go to like back to your original skinny mode. Like that. Because you now have these fly-through routes. So it's a bit tricky because it then singles down the roundabout to a single lane. And I'm only really kind of adding benefit for the vehicles making a right turn. That's in reality all I'm doing. I can make the roundabout a lot bigger. By doing so gives us a wider radius to maybe fit more vehicles on the roundabout at once. You know, that's always a sign. I could maybe add additional capacity where I can make the roads that approach to it turn into an asymmetrical road. So it gives us the ability to have a straight on and left turn. And by doing so, also then creates double lanes on the roundabout. There's also that option as well. There we go. Just make sure that it's all pointing that way. I just realised that one of them is just wrong. So that there adds a lot more capacity onto that junction. It becomes a flat intersection, which I really do like it. I really do like. So time will tell if it works out. Obviously, time will tell on that. It will get stress tested. But the main thing is it won't backlog anybody. Everyone will kind of just nicely flow through it. Everyone should nicely flow through. You get issues like that where they do slow down, but double lanes, dedicated you know, left, straight on, and right on the roundabout, but you also have the slingshots for the roundabout as well. Right, that's as simple as you could get it in reality. That's as simple as you can get it without overcomplicating it, which does work out pretty well. So let's take a look at this then, because I do want to extend this down as a highway road. And if I continue to go through, so keeping it straight, but I do want it to kind of bend down and then connect to this. And I want to turn this into a highway road as well. I actually don't know whether that will be a good idea, because it will then force people then, rather than going down here and then into FarmTown, to then take this as a shortcut. So, you know what? No. But what I can do is, I've already decided no, because what I've literally just said, it's going to cause chaos. Right, what I'll do is, from this point there, it will then become a dirt road. No. We'll connect it to a dirt road to the roundabout. It just makes a lot more sense, doesn't it? It does make a lot more sense. Now, if I go there to there, and I delete you, both these roads are going to bend onto that straight. So, if I picked, and they're going to be different radiuses. They are going to be different radiuses. 160 by a, yeah, that'll work. Who am I kidding right now? It will work. It will work. Yeah, there. Ooh, no. They didn't like that, boys. 108. There we go. So nice little bendy road around, which will give us access to this area. I feel like a little bit of a town on the, maybe on the riverside, on the connections there, would be quite a cool little feature of this area. Yeah, it could be, it could be. So, things are going swimmingly then. The new town is now booming. Are we seeing traffic over here? This is definitely going to be a busy junction there as well. I want to edit and change that. But it is coming to midnight right now where you won't see much traffic. Now this, I know that this is an issue. I know it's an issue because they get caught out in many different areas because vehicles have to wait and all that kind of jazz. So I kind of want to slightly upgrade this, and because this is a main turning point in, it can be slightly a little bit of an issue. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to upgrade this as well. I'm going to turn this into a 4-lane road. So if I bring it to there, to there, to there, and then to there, where it merges back into the 2. It splits from the 4 to the 2 in both directions there, which is what I want. Now, I've got a couple of options on what I do here, but I think just having that dedicated turn might be enough. It might be enough, but then this also becomes a slight issue as well. I just want to humour myself for a minute. If I went to like that, right, and if I just paused, no, we'll keep that as it is. There shouldn't be any issues. It's quite a big thing to just throw that all in like that, isn't it? But if I then go across there and then there, where they merge in at that point, I think we can get away with it. Here's going to be an issue. But I think we bring that right down to there, but then this is an issue as well. All the way down. But I can treat that as a dedicated turn for that junction. Or maybe merge it to there. I might have kind of slightly gone a little bit over the top there with the capacity of those roads. We probably don't need it in those vicinities. Only to reduce them down, to bulk them back up again. Only shortly. Only shortly. And I'm going to apply the same logic here then as well. It can be an issue, boys, but I think we'll be okay. Honestly, I think we'll be okay. I say that, and then once rush hour hits, it's going to be an issue. Now, we did have a problem over here on this bridge as well. Now, it was mainly vehicles coming this way, which you can see there's quite a lot of them. So, is it better for me to kind of give them a dedicated turning lane. Like that. Is that better? You need to make the road a bit longer to make them fully utilize it. I'm not sure on this one. I think I need to see the traffic appear again. I think we'll need to see the traffic appear again at some point. Right, winter's now coming. Because you're going to see how green it now just changed. Really weird that was, wasn't it? Really weird. Right, okay, so farming. We've now got a surplus of quite some tonnage. Now, you could argue that we now need to look at other alternatives to create, but I think we should also kind of keep on top of it. Because it also then does bottleneck down to all the other stuff. So, vegetables. How is vegetables looking? Do you know what? We're just going to keep going with the grain. I'm going to turn this into a grain industry. I think so. So now seeing the spaces at which we can pretty much work with, I reckon we can get some farms within those areas. If I scrap off you, we can get a whole farm in there. Same with you. Definitely get a whole farm in there. And in there. Yeah. Right, let's get some farms back in again. So I'm going to keep sticking to the grain farming. This is a perfect spot there for it. La-dee-da, boys. La-dee-da. There we go. There we go. Just right here. All the way around. Can I get one of this? Yeah. Look at that. Perfect sizes now, aren't they? Sometimes you just gotta do that. Sometimes you just gotta go back and delete the roads that you did create. Widen the farms. Because there's no point building multiple small ones if you can squeeze in, you know, a large one in its place. Alright, there we go. Now this is purely, solely, completely all grain farming right now. Which that there, fills all those little... Oh, you're... No, I'm about to say you're joking me right there, but no, we're okay. I thought the building disappeared again. Right, I'm going to go to here and then come back and slightly adjust it. There we go, boys. There we go. That is a lot more farms now, isn't it? That is definitely a lot more farms. I think there's room to maybe... I don't think there's room to maybe... Oh, is there? If I can build here as one? Yes, there is. Wow, okay. That took me by surprise. Right, all the way up. Right. Bam. Bam, bam. Well, bam. And we'll do this one. Get this one out of the way. This is a I mean, it's weird because this is cattle more and it should have all been cattle. Livestock. Shouldn't it? Which is weird, but we need the grain. Cattle more is no longer for cattle boys. We should rename the town to Grainmore. Oh, you need more grain? Alright, those little nooks and crannies there, we can kind of fill in with the other farm next to it. Right, that is a lot more now, isn't it? That is so many more farming areas. So many more farming areas without implemented. The weather has taken a turn for the worst. I'm quite impressed with this. It seems to be upholding itself, but again, it will soon get stress tested again. On the next day, it will soon get stress tested again. But it seems to be upholding itself. Cattlemore, we have 3,000 people living here. Now, what we can also do in Cattlemore is, I know this is all solely grain, but look how much land around it is. We can still build all livestock farming to make it live up to its true name. But yeah, we've definitely provided lots more jobs. Now they're complaining about not enough educated people. Which shows to me that we are filling the educated market a bit more. You can see between all those. It's only mainly the uneducated that we're barely satisfying. 0.1% unemployment, which is kind of crazy. So things are going well. But rush hour is about to start shortly anyway. It is about to start, and then we can kind of then see where we need to slightly improve things. Yes. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. 6 a.m. is about to hit us like a ton of bricks. It really is. It really is. Right, let's get a little bit more residential around here. Now, some of these buildings, they don't like the idea of living in them. So I might go for some... I'm going to go for some low rent housing near the train station. Because they are complaining about high rents. So we'll go for some low rent housing. There we go. Controlling the size of the buildings as well is what I'm doing. That's completely spent all of my demand for the high density. But I'm hoping that controls the size of the buildings, and low rent near the train tracks just kind of makes sense, doesn't it? It just kind of makes sense. Oh, it's raining, boys. Oh, is there traffic over here? Oh, no, it's a car crash, isn't it? Yeah. Damn fools. Right, we should start to see this roundabout awaken. The only downside to it is that they've got the crossroads here. So if multiple trains do come across in rush hour, it can slightly backlog onto the roundabout. But hopefully we're confident enough that we've built it correctly that it shouldn't really be much of an issue. That's all we can say, right? That's all we can say. Right, this is nearly 60% done. So we'll have to wait. Oh, we have a train issue over here. Now, I think the issue is... Oh, hello. You can't skedoodle out because you've got to come in. But you can't go out because you're going to wait for that train. And you can't go out because there's a train there. That's the gist of it, isn't it? That is the gist of it. Right. I can't delete overlapping items. Right, how do I fix this, boys? Without changing anything. This is why the inner city train should maybe use the middle one. Oh no, that train's now going. That's now moved. Oh, they all despawned. Okay, that's not good. Guys, remember that. We're going to have to fix it. We're going to have to fix it. Right, these buildings are technically smaller than them buildings, but they do uphold a lot more residents. So we might see a little bit of a growth spurt again in the city. In the town. With more people moving in. This is becoming quite a little route out right now, isn't it? I might... Asymmetrical, that one on the exit. Just to filter out 2 vehicles at once. Because I can see that being a little bit of a pain. Also, getting rid of traffic lights. Because that also is going to be a little bit of a pain. Now, I don't like the idea of them utilising this. So what you could also do and argue is, if I move this to over there, for example. No, actually, I'm going to move this over here. Is turn this strip there, that road, into this highway road. Pause. Just to there. To kind of mimic the short distance. But I have to remember, it does... My pipes, baby. Right, was that enough? Yes. Yes. So I don't like the idea of them utilising this and turning in because there's more highway road at a higher speed. Hopefully that evens out the playing field slightly. Hopefully, anyway. Hopefully, he says. Right, okay. You could also argue a nice little roundabout wouldn't be such a bad issue. But this system does allow me to filter out multiple vehicles at once. Once they get it just right of where they're meant to be going. So that pumps out a fair few vehicles. Yeah. Right, okay. Oh, hello. Traffic. Now, why is there traffic here? Oh, yeah. Leading the way. Road maintenance vehicle. Of course. Of course. Any traffic down here is the question. So it is getting a little bit busier. But again, with the fundamentals that we have in place, we'll eventually allow them to kind of eventually clear. There might be a slight little backlog, but we should be okay. Production-wise, we have now got a dramatic surplus of grain from all those grain farms that we've just planted down. Does it change much for the material goods that we produce? Beverages, no. Convenience food, no. I don't think it's changed much. We have such a deficit right now of those. What about immaterial? So immaterial comes down to meals. We do have a surplus of meals. We have the smallest... Oh, that's entertainment. Is it just meals from this? From immaterial goods? Yeah. Oh, that comes down to retail, doesn't it? But then again, I suppose it's retail from the food that we do create, which comes from food. So, yeah. That's weird. We have a surplus of it, but we have a deficit of it at the same time. Yeah, it just goes to show we need to do a little bit more. So, that road maintenance vehicle now backlogging us slightly has caused huge issues leading in, but to be honest with you, it is a little bit of an issue in general anyway, trying to get people to filter through. Because the road does split, and they have to wait for this vehicle to now pass before they've got the green light to go. Now, the longer that this stays, the more people get impatient and then choose to take alternative routes. You could kind of help them out in a certain extent by making the slip to the right lane a little bit earlier. Thus to allow us to filter multiple vehicles through a little bit easier. So, you know, that will eventually all clear. But it's one of the downsides to creating a connection like that. It is one of the downsides to it. I don't think many people, don't think many people utilize this dirt road, but then as I say that, there's two vehicles driving down there. There's a couple of vehicles over here. So that is beneficial. That is beneficial, but the big news of today's episode is my junction over here worked out really well. We can apply that to many other places. Now, boys, we're going to end it here. I feel like we've done some pretty good stuff right now, but we still need to focus on the farming industry, like hugely. We've got to focus on it. Because ultimately, we have those deficits. We do have those deficits, which will kind of mean that we import more than we export. If I check the imports and exports right now, you can see that my number one import right now, convenience food, textiles, beverages, my top 3 imports are stuff that I could create from the farming industry. But look at how big my grain, vegetable, and livestock exports are. So we win in some, we lose in the others. You could also argue we need to build more factories, but it will come with time, boys. The region is growing, the industries are expanding, and the only thing that's getting really, really big right now is my bank balance. So until next time, boys, I will see you all soon. So goodbye.